Game number one, Allen. The Raiders travel to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Talk to me about this one.
What a tough spot for the Raiders.
Yes. Yes.
What a tough spot.
What did you do to the schedule makers, Vegas?
Like, I'm curious, how are they gonna schedule the winner of Arizona and the Los Angeles Rams
Monday?
Like,
they can't play Saturday. You can't play them Saturday.
That would just be pure. That was cruel.
Oh man, you cannot play those guys,
especially when
Saturday.
they're likely gonna have a road game too.
Yeah.
So I hope, however, maybe you just do AFC games Saturday, NFC games Sunday. But the NFL's just gotta be smart with this, and I think they should have been more aware of how the seedings were going to end up being, even though it was super complicated with the AFC going into that Sunday night game. But, this is definitely harsh on the Raiders. But you want to talk about one of the most resilient teams ever. Like, this team is as battle-tested as it gets.
If there's any team that could deal with something like this, it'd be them, right?
Right.
We've also seen them go on the road this year and have some notable wins. They won in Pittsburgh. They won that game in Denver after the firing of John Gruden.
To be a red-hot Colts team.
Beat a red-hot Colts team on the road. Who no one gave them a chance. They were like a 9-point underdog. And then on Thanksgiving, they beat the Cowboys. So these are spots where they're familiar. And look, there's a never say die attitude with them. It starts with Derek Carr. But they got absolutely destroyed by this schedule. I don't think it's fair. If you're looking at it, it's a brutal spot for them. Because they
come on such an emotional high.
Yeah. The defense played 88 snaps. Those guys were gassed.
They couldn't stop a fourth down.
Like, how many fourth downs did Justin Herbert come? It was a 19-play drive there. And they're going to have to handle a lot of adversity going into Cincinnati, who the Bengals, for the most part, rested everyone that mattered for them, outside of Jamar Chase, who they wanted to set the record, and then they got him the hell out of there, too. And now they got to play the 4:30 game on Saturday. I would not be happy if I was a Raiders fan.
Raiders have to make it ugly. They got to win the trenches, and that's where they have somewhat of an advantage. With their offense, I don't feel like they could really get in a rhythm in terms of their pass game. It's more of just because I don't think Derek Carr has played all that well the past few weeks, but he's just making some big throws in big spots. But if he could just get a couple of those pop-up throws and just control line of scrimmage with the O-line and just give Josh Jacobs a rock. Like, I think Josh Jacobs is one of the more underappreciated running backs. He makes a lot of good decisions. Like, his vision, he could turn a 2-yard loss into like a 4 or 5 yard gain. Like, I know it's easy to run on the Chargers, but I feel like Josh Jacobs has really been the reason why the Raiders have been so effective the past few weeks, at least offensively, because it's been a struggle for them at times. But he's been kind of, ever since Kenyon Drake went down, they're giving him the full workload, and he's delivering. Like, I know Hunter Renfrow gets all the headlines, understandably so. What a player he is. But Josh Jacobs, I feel like if the Raiders are really going to win this, they need to give him 20 carries, and they got to kind of control the clock, because I just don't see how that defense could hold up against the Bengals.
Yeah, and if you look at, I think when you look at Cincinnati, the first thing you go to is like the weapons on the outside. But Joe Mixon carved them up. $123 on the ground, scored 2 touchdowns against them when they played in Vegas earlier this year.
Bengals won decisively.
Yeah, it was a close game going into the fourth quarter, but then they won by 3 scores. And ironically enough, the first playoff game for both of these quarterbacks. Derek Carr, yes, they made the playoffs, but he didn't play in that. That was the famous "It's broke video."
It's Connor Cook
when he got tackled there. Yeah. And Joe Burrow, you want to hear some wild shit? Mm-hmm. Joe Burrow, in his career, in which his teams needed to win to advance, 6-0, 4 times in college, and then twice in the Ravens game, and then against the Chiefs. 27 touchdowns, no interceptions.
It's perfect.
Joey Burr, Joe Shiesty, Joey Franchise, his nicknames on Pro Football Reference.
I like Joey Franchise.
Joey Franchise.
It makes me miss Steve Francis.
Steve Francis, let's go.
We need a new franchise.
Franchise like the Houston Rockets. Yeah, I know you like that down south little flip, baby.
I like my beats with that. But what I was going to say, he's someone that could take punishment, because I do think if there's one thing the Raiders got is that D-line. They harassed Justin Herbert. They beat him up. And this Bengals offensive line, it's been a weakness all season. Like if there's one saving grace for the Raiders is that Crosby's on his game and Ngakoue's on his game. They did lose Darius Philon to a torn pectoral. He had a huge game against the Raiders. Made that against the Chargers. He had that big fourth down stop. So they're gonna miss him. But with those edge rushers, if they could get Burrow at least somewhat around, that could help. But I just feel like Joe Burrow, like he is so indestructible right now, and he knows how to get the ball out quick, and he has the weapons too. Like remember, they got the trio at receivers. Let's not forget about Tyler Boyd. I think Tyler Boyd's as slick as it gets,
bro. Route running out the slot, too reliable.
Yeah, and the Raiders, like, they're trucking out corners right now. Like, man, I feel bad. I'm happy to see Desmond Truth on the playoffs, but boy, having him, it's going to be tough for him and Hayward and Hobbs as well. Like, it's just hard to be overly optimistic about the Raiders. As great as a story as this is, it's just they're going to go into hostile environment. I feel like Cincinnati, even though they've been bad for so long, their fan base is very passionate. I feel like we're going to really see a huge crowd for this one. It's going to be a real cool environment. And just you look at the Bengals, just they're a team that could put up 34 points in an instant. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they, fresh out the gate, just boom, 40-yard play here, 9-play drive, touchdown. Like, it's exciting time. And, you know, I think – like, I'm trying to find reasons for the Raiders, but it's very hard to. Unless it's a scrap fest and a couple fluky turnovers, I think this is the Bengals' time.
I couldn't agree with you more.
This is your squad.
It is a terrible spot for them.
Yeah.
I think that they make it through. Hey, by the way, it's a lot of these playoff brackets, they have it shown like the matchups are fixed. It's still the lowest remaining seed, right? Like,
correct.
I'm not bugging?
Yeah, correct.
All right, because I've seen some where they're talking about, like, you know, the Bengals Raiders are going to play the winner of like the Chiefs matchup. Like, it's a weird setup how I've seen some of them, but it's still like lowest.
I mean, if it's chalk, Bengals will be playing the Titans.
So here's the case that I want to make where I think this is a dark horse conference championship team.
Yeah, could be. I mean, if you win the first round,
right,
you got a shot. Even though you could be a heavy underdog, obviously, but nah.
But like, this is what I mean. You see how this bracket is set up?
Yeah, to me, it should always be highest seed.
Yeah, but it's misleading, though, because a lot of my friends were, you know, because the FFPC challenge is up where you pick, like, the playoff formats, and they're like, yo, this matchup might happen. I'm like, nah, that's not the case. Like, if Pittsburgh beats Kansas City, they're going to
all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, all hell breaks loose. We'll get to that in a second, but they're going to go to Tennessee. But if the Chiefs beat them, the way this is set up here, it's telling you that Titans-Chiefs is the next matchup, and that's just not the case.
There's no way that could happen.
No, they can't. So just be careful when you're looking at the brackets.
Yeah.
I got to say, I feel as if this game...
I'm excited for it. Like, I know we think it's like a foregone conclusion the Bengals are going to win, but I do like August. Who could imagine these two teams in wild card?
Sure,
so it's two great stories, and I'm looking forward to it.
And look, if there's ever a team right now in the playoffs that you just can't count out, it's the Raiders. And they've dealt with adversity all year. And I think this is going to be an interesting game. I'm leaning heavily towards the Bengals, though. Like, I think they could win by 2 touchdowns. And I think one interesting tidbit, too, is Darren Waller coming back.
I was going to mention that. I'm excited for him.
Because last week he came back. And
bit of a decoy.
Yeah, he saw 9 targets, though. Like, he only caught, like, 1 or 2 passes. But for the most part, like, you know, Derek Carr loves him. That's his guy.
And he's going to command the defense's attention where he's going to open up for Zay Jones and Byron Evans.
So you have that guy commanding attention, and now you got to take Hunter Renfrow seriously. Dude, over 100 passes, man. Yeah. I had projected him. Like, I loved his catch total at the beginning of the year. I was like, yo, I think he could push north of, like, 80 catches. Like, some of the guys are like, yo, no shot. I'm like, yo, dude, is like...
They have the chemistry. When a QB and a receiver have that chemistry.
Oh, yeah. But I'm going with the Bengals rather comfortable. I'm honestly, I'm thinking, like, 31-17 kind of game.
I could see that.
Imagine that's the score. Definitely going to play this back.
Hey, take it.